Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to the Seeking Covering podcast. My name is Aisha Mubenga. Um, Today's topic is letting go. It's a topic that was inspired, obviously, from the book that I've been reading and that I have been posting about a lot. The name of the book is The Mountain Is You, and the author is Brianna West. The chapter that I'm referring to is chapter 5 in her book. But obviously, before going into the book and everything, I just wanted to just share my own thoughts. When I think of letting go, I often think of the stories of the prophets, and there's two particular stories that you know really, really touches my heart, really, really inspires me. And when we think of letting go, I think of Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam, and how he had to, let go of a child that he waited almost all his life, how he had to, not just once, but twice, when he was asked to go and leave his wife, um, and his child in the desert alone, with no people surrounding them. And when he was again asked to, you know, sacrifice his son, and in both cases, he did that without questioning the commands of his creator. He did that without he basically did it without thinking twice. When I think of letting go, I think of the story of Musa alayhi salam, um, his mother having to let go of her child, not knowing where this child would end up, not knowing what's gonna happen to this child. But then again, she placed her trust in Allah and obeyed the commands of Allah again. And so one may come to a conclusion to say that letting go for us Muslims, for us believers, is basically submitting to the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Letting go is submitting to the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not just submitting to it, but submitting to it without basically submitting to it with no doubt, submitting to it in a sense where sami'na wa ata'na, we hear and we obey. Basically, just like the Prophet Ibrahim, he was commanded, he heard the command of his creator and he obeyed it without question. So for me, the act of letting go means submission, basically, and most of us really, really get stuck, or really find it very, very hard to let go because we resist. Allah may put us in a situation where we are tested, and in a situation where we have to let go of something, or let go of someone, or let go of a habit, and let go of whatever it is that we need to let go, and we resist the command of Allah, and that is where we obviously suffer and struggle. I remember a very long time ago, I was still in high school, someone telling me that someone who was letting me go um, told me that, um, quoted this hadith. I don't know if it's a hadith or a verse from the Quran. I can't remember, but they quoted this and they said that, you may like a thing, but that thing may be harmful for you, and you may hate a thing, but that thing may be uh, good for you. And so we, when it comes to letting go and letting go of certain things in our lives, we often feel like, by letting this thing go, or by letting this person go, you know, our world would come to an end. You know, we are going to suffer and be miserable and be in misery for the rest of our lives. Most of us fall into depression, and we just lose our heads, and we don't realize that this is the qadr, this is the will of Allah, this is the mashia of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah is the best of planner, and He is the one who knows what He is doing. You know, letting go is not easy. Obviously, I'm not saying this. I'm not saying this uh, and expecting you to just wake up and let go of the bad habits that you have today, or wake up and let go of the toxic friends or the toxic uh, relationships that you are in today. No. What I'm trying to say is, understand that letting go, letting go only has goodness in it for you, right? The process of letting go, yes, is very difficult. It's beyond word. Um, but in the end, it's all worth it. It's all worth it. I know many of us may be going through divorces. Some of us have lost our spouses. Some of us, you know, trying to let go of the toxic job that we are in. Some of us are trying to let go of bad habits that we have, gotten ourselves into over the years. Some of us, and it's just really, really difficult to let go, and it's really, really difficult to accept that these things are actually gone or have been removed from our lives. And it's okay to take your time. It's okay to be in your feelings. I always tell people or friends that, you know what, if you're going through something that is difficult for you, be in your feelings, embrace those emotions. Listen to yourself, to listen to your body and what your body needs. Obviously, I'm not saying go and become a drug addict because your body feels like it wants to sniff, I don't know, on cocaine or whatever. No, I'm saying listen to your emotions. Cry if you need to cry. Be in it, and not and don't avoid it. And it's so beautiful, because I read a few pages from this book that I've been obsessed with. I've been reading bit by bit, and there was a few sentences, a few lines that just blew my mind away. I'm not gonna read all of it. I'm just gonna read um a few lines where she says that, obviously, we understand that letting go is not easy. We understand that once you've decided to let go of that person or that thing, you're gonna be in a lot of pain. You're gonna be in a lot of distress, and that is understandable. It might take you years. It might take you 1 year, 3 years. It might take you a very long time to actually get over this separation, or this loss, if you may call it. And that is absolutely okay. But you will begin to realize that slowly with time you will begin to forget the thing or the person. You will go a week without thinking about the person or without thinking about the thing. You will go a year, and before you know it, you've totally forgotten the person, and your life has just turned into turned into a totally different direction. So I read from the book. She says, you start to let go on the day you take one step towards building a new life, and then you let yourself lie in bed and stare at the ceiling and cry for as many hours as you need. You start to let go on the day you realize that you cannot continue to revolve around a missing gap in your life, and going on as you were before will simply not be an option. You start to let go at the moment you realize that this is the impetus, this is the catalyst, this is that moment the movies are made about, and the books are written about, and the songs are inspired by. This is the moment you realize that you will never find peace standing in the ruins of what you used to be. You can only move on if you start building something new. You let go when you build a new life so immersive and engaging and exciting. You slowly, over time, forget about the past. What you build in the wake and the aftermath of loss will be so profound, so stunning. You will realize that the loss was the part of maybe the loss was part of the plan. Maybe it's awakened a part of you that would have remained dormant had you not been pushed the way you were. But take one step today and another tomorrow to rebuild a new life for yourself, piece by piece, day by day, because sooner or later you're going to go an hour and realize you didn't think about them or it, then a day, then a week, and then years, and chunks of your life drift by, and everything you thought would break you becomes a distant memory, something you look back at and smile. Everything you lose becomes something you are profoundly grateful for. With time, you see that it is not the part yeah, with time you see that it was not the path, it was what was standing in your way. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.